welcome back to my channel. This is Tanya Azar at Early Career Academic, and today I'm going to be talking about my most recent acquisition, which is the Passion Planner Daily in the blush color. I finally, if you guys watched the video where I kind of talk myself into getting a daily, I finally did pull the trigger and buy one. At first I had printed out the free PDFs that Passion Planner offers on their website to see if I would actually use the daily, and if so, how it would fit in with my planning routine, and I loved the ritual of it. I will say I don't use it every single weekend day, but I do use it every single weekday, and I then went ahead and bought this little beauty. It is smaller than my medium-sized Passion Planner, which is perfect because I take this to work with me. And it does have a little strap to hold it together. And I'm just going to give you a quick flip through of the beginning of the planner. They kind of walk through how to use the daily spreads. They give you some ideas about how to go about using the different elements. They also give you a space to write down how you want to use the planner here, and they give you some ideas so you can kind of transfer over the ones that you're going to be doing if you want, or come up with entirely new ideas, just so you can sort of plan out how you're going to use it. And what I will say is this video, I'm going to show you how specifically an academic instructor could use this planner. I mean, obviously the daily bit, anyone can use any way they want, but the monthly views in here, I kind of wondered to myself, how is this not going to be sort of a redundant effort with my weekly planner that has a monthly view? And I figured it out. So I'm going to kind of explore that with you guys here in this video. There's also another roadmap and some specific instructions about how to make the goals you set here more task-oriented here. And maybe someday I'll do a video, if you guys are interested, let me know in the comments, of the difference between goals and tasks. Because I think sometimes we get them confused and it kind of muddles up our planning systems. In any case, I'm not sure if I'll use this aspect of this planner because I already did this in my weekly planner, but it's nice if you're only going to get a daily to have this option. Then they give you this handy little forward planning thing where you have the days of the month and the months at the top. And what's kind of nice about this is these planners are only 3 or 4 months long, depending on how often you use the daily part. And so it gives you the option to look ahead, which is perfect for academic purposes because I can actually put the start date of the spring semester in here so that when I'm planning, and if it comes up during the fall, because it always does in some way, shape, or form, I can double check when that date is anytime that I have this planner on me. So I thought that was a pretty useful feature of this. And again, if you didn't have a weekly planner to go with this, this would be kind of a good option for you to sort of forward plan a little. Okay, so it goes through December. And then it gives you these little mini monthly views. Now this would be way too small for my normal monthly planning, for my taste personally, but what I'm going to use it for in this case is specifically the classes that I'm teaching, what's happening in these weeks, so I can get a bird's eye view of the flow of work that my students are doing and that I have to do in return. I don't have this in my personal weekly planner because in there's everything that's going on in the month, personal, professional, but not curricular. And before I was kind of keeping it all in my head, or I'd have to constantly consult my syllabus schedule to see like, what are we doing next week? Or when is that week that the one-on-ones are happening? And sometimes it would cause issues because I wasn't really thinking about it in a way. And as I will explore with you guys in a future video, writing it down, even if I never look at it again, is so hugely helpful for me remembering what happens in a given week. So what I've already done ahead of this video is I have listed the days of the week and the dates for each month, October, November, and December. And I use the Passion Planner week number stickers to signal which calendar week aligns with which semester week. And this is handy because I do plan my content for courses by week. That's kind of how we do it, especially if we're teaching online. And then I can kind of take a look at my schedule and see, okay, what's going on in these. And so what I'm going to do now for our video is for the month of October, and maybe for the other months too, or at least through the end of the semester. I'm going to go ahead and jot down things I need to know in these weeks so that I can plan more effectively and make sure I know what's happening much earlier on than I typically do. So in week 7, which is next week, this is the week that my students have their campaign. And actually, I was thinking about writing one class's stuff in using a Tombow marker, the skinny end. Let me see how I like that. So that's for that class. And then for my other class in week 7, so stuff happens on different days, so I don't necessarily need other colors. It is kind of pretty looking. So this week for my online students, it's synthesizing sources week, and their first full draft is due this day. And I picked out a blue for this class. So on Sundays, on this Sunday, the 10th, the first draft is due. I think I am going to use the colors because it is a handy little reference to be like, okay, these are my online classes, these are my face-to-face classes. And yes, my online classes have a Sunday due date, but that's because these classes were designed pre-pandemic for working adults who really wanted to have the weekend to accomplish the tasks of the class. And so I adjusted the schedule to compensate for that. So some of my current students who are not working adults but just having to take classes online thanks to the pandemic are a little confused, but I'm okay with that because I help them get over that confusion. So I'm just going to stick with one class at a time for now, so I'm not like switching pens every 5 seconds. I'm going to cover this pen so it doesn't dry out. And I'm not picturing this being highly decorative or anything. I might add a sticker or 2 here and there, but or maybe draw like some cute doodles or something, but optimally this is going to be very functional. So week 8, this is this week. This is the optional office hours, and these are this is on Friday for that class. And I'm also providing feedback on their drafts this week, which actually is kind of nice. So I think what I'll do is I'll plop that here. So I can do this, I can write and think at the same time. Okay, and then the next week for this class on the 20th, their second draft is due. But it's peer reviewed, so that is helpful. And their peers owe feedback on this day. I just kind of monitor that. Then the next week, the student's final draft is due on the 31st. And I think what I'm offering them is some additional optional office hours. So they can meet with me via Zoom and go over their draft if they want to. And okay, so that's week 10. Let's just keep going. Week 11. This is, okay, a new unit. So I'm going to do new unit. This is persuasion and modality. I don't need to put like every single thing they're doing, but it does help me to remember what's what in a given week. So they have activities both these days, but this is the unit that we're working on. Okay, so they do genre conventions here, and this is when their project plans are due. And then this week, the workshop draft component. And then this is Thanksgiving week, so I do have optional one-on-one meetings. But I primarily leave this week off because the other part of teaching an asynchronous online class is we don't get any of the other holidays in the calendar. Because none of them fall on a Wednesday, Sunday schedule. Like you're never getting Labor Day off, or fall break doesn't affect it, none of those things. So I kind of like to leave this week open so the students can meet with me if they want to, but they are not obligated to turn anything in this week because it is our only kind of holiday break that we get for an asynchronous online class. And then last but not least, we have the 15th week, which is the final week of our semester. And I kind of don't like it when the week's cut off in the middle like this, but I'll write it twice. That way I can kind of see it without turning the page. But essentially, this is when their project is due. And then they have to provide feedback to their peers by this Friday, and that's because this is technically the last day of classes. Okay, and then I'm just going to flip and add that here as well. And see, this is one of those things, like if I didn't have this now, like I'd forget that the peer feedback was due Friday instead of Sunday. So, this is just, it's just kind of nice to have this overview. Okay, so moving back, I'm going to switch to my other class. So this is our fall break, so we're not meeting then. This will be an asynchronous course where we do the design thinking project overview plus empathy. Okay. Let's see. And then this will be super helpful to me because we're kind of doing a different thing every single day the rest of the term. So this is define a problem day. This is the ideate day. Then I deliver a lecture on advanced research skills. And they have a practicum. Then, yes, November. Okay. Then they do, and then I have to talk to them about prototyping. We might brainstorm prototyping, and then they have a practicum where they're going to work on their prototypes. Also, they have a research log due this week. I think I give them to the weekend for that. Question mark. I think so. Okay. And then they workshop their prototypes. Okay. And this is an extra day. Honestly, I wasn't sure how this semester was going to go, you guys. I didn't know if we were going to be pivoting to virtual and everything was going to take twice as long. I didn't know if, I just didn't know. So this is kind of what I might do here is optional office hour day. Okay. And it's an overflow day. If we need more time, we need more time. That's totally fine. Then they do pitch prep. We kind of go over the principles. I also have a note to myself that these are group meetings. And when I meet with the groups, I do have to spread it out over 2 class days because it's just a lot of students. There's 50 of them all together, and there's only one of me, so it just is what it is. I also have another office hour day because, again, I didn't know what was going to happen, and this is Thanksgiving week again, so it's kind of nice to have this is an option for those students who need that extra time with me or who want to show me something before the Thanksgiving break, but then everyone else just gets a break, which is nice, I think. And then we come back from the break refreshed and ready for the end of the semester. And then this is an important day. Pitch day. And then we have our final class, which is probably going to be asynchronous. We'll see. We'll see. Again, was kind of leaving it open because last year we had to put all of our post-Thanksgiving break classes online because of the pandemic. So I was leaving it a little bit loosey-goosey to adjust for anything that needed adjusting. Okay, this is awesome because it gives me such a great bird's eye view of what my students are doing, what is expected of me in return to respond proactively to what they're doing. I think what I might use these boxes for is to add some additional reminders to myself for these weeks. So for example, I know there's peer groups I need to set up in Blackboard. So that's an action item that needs to happen in this coming month. And I also need to set up the guests who are going to hear the students' pitches. I can't believe I only have 2 months to do that, but okay. So this takes quite a bit of coordinating on my part, and I was just trying to get through their first major project before I tackled it, which still is probably what's going to happen. But this is an important thing to prepare for on my part, so I need to make sure that I do that. So that's probably what I'm going to use these boxes for, to help myself set specific goals that are related to this curricular trajectory. I'm not sure how or if I will use these boxes. These feel a little more appropriate to me in the weekly planner that I have, where a lot of my personal stuff is in it. So, this would be sort of that. But what I could do is I could make this kind of my academic specific month overview. I might put professional development in here. Maybe I want to set up a coffee date with one of my colleagues. I've been kind of, we just been missing each other. This will remind me to do that. So it could be an extra cool thing that I use it specifically for those things. So we'll see. And I'm, again, not really sure what I'll use this space for yet, but that's, the beauty of kind of getting your feet wet, seeing what works and making adjustments. And then essentially I have the days, each day where I basically take my weekly planner and I look at what's going on and I transfer to here the things I want to accomplish off those lists. I find this, again, ritual very centering. It helps me from feeling overwhelmed by a longer to-do list. It gives me a space to imagine and think and plan and take notes if I need to. I just kind of love the addition of this, you guys, to my planning system. So I can't recommend it highly enough. If you find that you would love that opportunity to reflect on each day, to plan, to sort of have a little more space to wiggle around in than the weekly one offers you. But as you can see, I'm not planning on forward planning any of this. This is going to be if I pick this up and use it on that day. So I have a lot of options. It could go even past the month views if I wanted it to, but for now, I think this actually aligns really well. If I get through December with this daily planner, then I can pick one up for the new year and get through half the spring term with it. I think it should work out. Pretty much I will be on track for how these will fold into the year schedule. So that is a quick overview of how I plan to use the daily planner, the daily passion planner. I will put a link in the description of this video where you can take a look at the other cover options that Passion Planner gives you and sort of read some more of the specs in case you are interested in picking one up yourself. And of course, feel free to leave a comment if you have a question about the planner itself or how I'm using it in particular. And I just want to thank you again for watching this video and for tuning in to my channel. Please, if you liked it, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you back here next time. Thank you.